If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy.
Download and subscribe at
BeBullish.com. The following is a Red Apple Podcast Network presentation.
They say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poet's part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it.
Welcome to Dominic Carter's podcast. This is Dominic Carter's City Hall. Now, here's Dominic Carter.
Red Apple Podcast Talk Radio 77 WABC. You can join me, Dominic Carter, live twice on weekdays. First 3 to 4 p.m. and then the recap show back live midnight to 1 a.m. Each time taking your live telephone calls and also the Sunday night edition live 11 p.m. until 1 a.m. The socialist wins. Ready or not, here comes Mamdani, January 1. This is my podcast. Let's go. You knew it was coming. Immediately election night, the real Mamdani, a classic Jekyll and Hyde, the softening smile, the mask he wore during the entire campaign was gone to be replaced by the angry Mamdani, who was like a professor lecturing his class, perhaps like his father, the actual professor at Columbia University, who belongs to groups that are anti-Semitic and anti-Israel.
New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant.
It didn't have to come to this. Mayor-elect Mamdani. But Mamdani managed to hold on in a three-way race, cracking the 50% mark. He will say he has a mandate, but the opposition vote split. The egos of the two other candidates are supersized times 10. This part of the campaign was not cute. It's not like Three's Company, the TV show. Cuomo and Sliwa divided the opposition vote. Polling showed Cuomo way ahead of Sliwa, so Sliwa should have dropped out and did the honorable thing in the best interest of the city, just like Eric Adams. However, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink. And even though Sliwa was blown out 4 years ago, losing by 40% to Adams, he had this odd notion to remain in this time. Sure, Sliwa did not want to be on the hook for the public financing campaign dollars, but there are ways around everything. And let's deal with the nonsense now. Sliwa pulled in a very disappointing 7% of the vote and did not even carry what should have been his base Staten Island. Cuomo won Staten Island. But the nonsense that even if Sliwa dropped out, Cuomo still didn't have enough votes to win, on paper, that is true. But Cuomo would have been less than 2% behind Mamdani, within striking distance and with momentum. Right now, we would be talking about a flawed Mayor-elect Cuomo instead of this disaster. And for that, Sliwa has no one else to blame, but should be looking at the man in the mirror. I wasn't the only one pushing for Sliwa to drop out. My colleagues Greg Kelly and Sid Rosenberg were even tougher on Curtis Sliwa.
7.5% is embarrassing. I wouldn't leave the house. One guy clearly lost his rocker, lost it, starting fights with everybody in the city, and specifically people that were very, very good to him. Specifically, John Catsimatidis and Sid Rosenberg. Very good to him. And for some reason, he thought a couple of wannabe tough guys in Middle Village and Howard Beach and Rockaway and Brooklyn. When I say a couple, look at that percentage. I mean a couple. For some reason, he thought those people were more important than the people that were behind him for years and years. He never had a chance. We all knew that. And Greg Kelly said we probably humored Curtis for too long. I mean, I knew he was going to finish at about 13 or 14%. Any moron would have known that. He knew that. He didn't even do that. He got half. I mean, 7.5% is embarrassing. I wouldn't leave the house, let alone yelling and screaming, I'm coming after you, Mamdani. I wouldn't even leave the house. If I would have run in this election, you bet your ass I would have done better than 7.5%.
As for angry Mamdani, he also used his victory speech to tear into President Trump.
So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
You know, I'm so torn because I would like to see the new mayor do well because I love New York. I really love New York. When I left New York for Washington, New York was doing really well, but there were some bad signs. The bad sign was a guy named de Blasio. So the signs of de Blasio, that was the beginning, and it was bad. This one, we're going to, look, for 1,000 years, communism has not worked. Communism or the concept of communism has not worked. I tend to doubt it's going to work this time.
Did you see his victory speech?
It's literally never worked. Yeah, I thought it was a very angry speech, certainly angry toward me, and I think he should be very nice to me. You know, I'm the one that sort of has to approve a lot of things coming to him, so he's off to a bad start.
But something is wrong with this guy. Mamdani was left wondering why he hasn't heard from the White House.
The White House hasn't reached out to congratulate me. I continue to be interested in having a conversation with President Trump on the ways in which we could work together to serve New Yorkers, whether that be delivering on his campaign promises around cost of living or the many issues that New Yorkers have been sharing with me about the drastic impacts that the legislation that President Trump has ushered through Washington will mean for them and their lives. And too often we understand these impacts solely at an individual level, but if we just speak a little bit more about SNAP benefits, these are not just affecting the close to 2 million New Yorkers who are on SNAP, these also affect the grocery stores across our city. There were a number of mom and pop owned grocery stores that spoke to me about the fact that in the Bronx, SNAP revenues make up more than a quarter of all of their revenue. And this has the impact of decimating their ability to keep their doors open. And so I look forward to having those conversations and to making clear that if there is ever anything to be spoken about that could benefit the people of the city, I am ready and willing to speak to anyone about it. But if it is a conversation to come at the expense of those people, then I will fight that idea tooth and nail because my job is to serve this city.
Andrew Cuomo had this to say in his concession.
This campaign was the right fight to wage. And I am proud of what we did and what we did together. This campaign was to contest the philosophies that are shaping the Democratic Party, the future of this city, and the future of this country. And this coalition transcended normal partisan politics. It brought together Democrats and Republicans and independents, joined by the simple fact that their first allegiance is as citizens of New York City. $2 million voters, the largest number in modern political history, cared enough to show up in a municipal election. And 42% voted for us on an independent line. That is the highest percentage in modern history. Ironically, it is just higher than when Mario Cuomo got 40% on an independent line against Ed Koch in 1977. It's also important to note that almost half of New Yorkers did not vote to support a government agenda that makes promises that we know cannot be met. We support an economy of jobs, of opportunity, of entrepreneurship. That's what New York is, and that's what New York must remain.
And Curtis Sliwa making this threat.
Let me warn our new leader. If you try to implement socialism, if you try to render our police weak and impotent, if you forsake the people's public safety, we're not only organizing, but we are mobilizing, and we will become the mayor-elect and his supporters' worst enemies, worst nightmare. Yes.
But at the Cuomo headquarters, there were plenty of people there livid with candidate Sliwa.
By Soros and Mamdani, he threw the election. Curtis Sliwa threw this election. Wake up, New York. Shame on you, Curtis Sliwa. You threw the election. You're a scumbag. You will never be loved in New York City ever again. You are a scumbag. Fucking tell about Sliwa's a scumbag. Shame on Curtis Sliwa. You are New York City. New York City. You
Hold on, sorry.
What do you want to say to Curtis? Can I see why you New York? Your own ego. Curtis, I interviewed you. I gave you time. I interviewed all the interviews. I interviewed Andrew. I interviewed you. I interviewed Jim. I interviewed Eric Adams. Eric Adams had the class to know when it was time to walk away. You stayed in for the money. You tend it's not money, it's money, Curtis. Come after me now. Because I know why you stayed in this race. It's who everybody you supported, and you ruined New York. And Andrew Cuomo was way better suited to be the mayor. Now we got Zoran Mamdani, who you probably cut a deal with. Go on record, come after me. You New York.
So do you really think that Sliwa did this for this?
Cuomo had to stop his supporters from booing Mamdani as several shouted Sliwa's name.
Also, my friends, feel proud because we accomplished the two important New York characteristics. We got up off the mat after the primary, and we made it a real race when the media had already commenced the coronation. And feel proud because we fought our hearts out and we left it all on the field. Congratulations to Zoran Mamdani. No. That is not right. That is not right, and that is not us. That is not us. Tonight was their night, and as they start to transition to government, we will all help any way we can because we need our New York City government to work. We want it to work for all New Yorkers because our city is the greatest city in the world, and we will unite for New York City because we love New York City. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank each and every one of you. I love you for the fight you made, for the soul that you showed, and the example that you set. New York City heard us, and we will be the better for it. Thank you, and God bless you.
And good luck when you ask Mamdani supporters what he stands for.
What do you think Zoran's best policy is?
I think affordable housing, smaller classrooms, free buses, lower rents, freezing the rents for rent-stabilized buildings.
That sounds great. How do you achieve that?
I think that he has really high hopes, and I think that he has a lot of energy.
He's going to achieve it through hope, or?
I think he's going to achieve it by really having a smart way of dealing with people and picking the proper people to work with him.
What is that smart way of dealing with it?
I think that he has a good sense of people around him. I think he makes good choices, and I think he works well with other people.
Where does the money come from?
He will figure it out. Like, I think that he
hasn't yet.
I think nobody knows where they're going to do it first. I think they work it out as they go along.
Much has been made of the angry tone of Mamdani's victory speech from fellow Democrat Van Jones on CNN.
I think he missed an opportunity. I think the Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot warmer, who was a lot more embracing, was not present in that speech. And I think that Mamdani is the one you need to hear from tonight. There are a lot of people trying to figure out, can I get on this train with him or not? Is he going to include me? Is he going to be more of a class warrior, even in office? I think he missed a chance tonight to open up and bring more people into the tent. I think his tone was sharp. I think he was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling. And that's not the Mamdani that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and stuff like that. So I felt like there's a little bit of a character switch here where the warm, open, embracing guy that's close to working people was not on stage tonight. And there was some other voice on stage. That said, he's very young. And he just pulled off something that's very, very difficult. And I wouldn't write him off, but I think he missed an opportunity to open himself up tonight. And I think that will probably cost him.
So Republican consultant Scott Jennings making a similar assessment also on CNN.
Scott?
Oh, are you saying he wasn't the unifying voice of a generation that you predicted mere moments ago? Axe, where was the man that you predicted would not slice and dice the? Look, guys, he started his speech by quoting Eugene Debs, who ran for president of the United States 5 times as the Socialist Party of America candidate. He repeatedly attacked people in this. I know my socialists. I keep a close eye on them. I work here. So here's the thing. He went after everybody that he thinks is a problem. People who own things, people who have businesses. He said an interesting quote, no problem too large for government to solve.
Or too small, important.
And so when you think of the world that way, that every problem, no matter how small or how large, is something for government to do, let me just decipher this for you. Tax increases as far as the eye can see, which means the people who need to provide jobs to the young people that you say need jobs are going to flee as quickly as they possibly can. I think this was a divisive speech, and he clearly sees the world in terms of the people who are oppressing you and the oppressed, and he said the oppressed are now in City Hall.
Meanwhile, Mamdani in his speech continued to hit on his campaign themes, which will never work.
And if we embrace this brave new course, rather than fleeing from it, we can respond to oligarchy and authoritarianism with the strength it fears, not the appeasement it craves. After all, if anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him. And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power. This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one.
And Mamdani showed no class in his speech when it came to Cuomo.
I wish Andrew Cuomo only the best in private life. But let tonight be the final time I utter his name as we turn the page on a politics that abandons the many and answers only to the few.
All of this comes as one campaign ends, another begins. GOP Congresswoman Elise Stefanik officially launching her run for governor against Democrat incumbent Kathy Hochul. Stefanik has a darn good chance of pulling this off, being the next George Pataki, a Republican to win statewide in New York. She appeared on the Fox News channel.
Republican New York gubernatorial candidate Elise Stefanik joins us now. Congratulations on the big announcement this morning. I know you wanted to wait till after the election on Tuesday to make a decision. You announced it. You released that video this morning. Why do you want to be our next governor?
I'm running for governor to make New York affordable and safe. We have seen decades of single-party rule led by Democrats, and Kathy Hochul is the worst governor in America. New York is the most unaffordable state in the nation, with the highest taxes, the highest energy bills, the highest utility bills. We also have a crime crisis because Kathy Hochul has brought us failed bail reform and has embraced the defund the police Democrats. And after this week, Ainsley, when we saw a raging anti-Semite, pro-Hamas communist who wants to raise taxes, and frankly, he barely won the majority of New York City voters, Kathy Hochul endorsed him and bent the knee. She has failed New Yorkers. So this is a broad coalition of Republicans, independents, and Democrats who know that enough is enough. We need common sense leadership to make New York affordable and safe again.
And Governor Hochul shooting back.
Elise Stefanik is running for governor of New York to do what she's always done, put Trump first. Elise Stefanik, she'll always put Donald Trump ahead of you.
So how are you going to combat that?
My response is I've always put New York families first. Kathy Hochul has put New York families last again and again and again. She's an accidental governor. She's only in this position because she was Cuomo's lieutenant governor. And when New Yorkers were looking for strong leadership from a governor, not to bend the knee to Zoran Mamdani, Kathy Hochul bent the knee. Why did she do that? Because she is hemorrhaging support, even in her own party among Democrats. This is a toxic governor who has a record of delivering the highest taxes in the nation, of hurting hardworking New Yorkers, of turning her back on law enforcement officers and small businesses. New York is in catastrophe because of Kathy Hochul's leadership. So I'm running to always put New York families first. That's what I've done in 10 years of Congress. And by the way, Kathy Hochul was fired after just one term in Congress because her constituents from Western New York know that she failed them, just like she is failing New Yorkers. And I will tell you, Lawrence, the number of Democrats who have reached out to us, who are supporting us in this campaign, these are people that previously voted for Kathy Hochul. They are voting for Elise Stefanik, as well as Republicans and independents, because they want to save our state.
So let the games begin in the race for governor. But it's no laughing matter with the new mayor of New York City, Mamdani. The only thing that keep him in check will be the state legislature. After Mamdani won, this is what Mayor Eric Adams had to say.
Good evening, New Yorkers. The polls have closed and the decision is final. And I want to say congratulations to Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani. A hard-fought battle, and it's imperative that our city continues to move forward. My team is going to put together transition documents and information to allow you to assemble your team and get prepared to govern the city. One of the most difficult jobs, but is truly the greatest job on the globe, being the mayor of the city of New York. And to all those communities who voted for someone else, we understand your concerns, we understand your fears, we understand the anxiety that you are feeling. But this is our democracy. And as our democracy, we will move together to ensure this city is a city that hears the voices for everyone. And I can promise you, as your former mayor and As a former member of the New York City Police Department, I will be committed to ensure your safety and your acceptance in the city that we all love.
Mayor Adams leaves office December 31st. Mamdani is sworn in the next day, January 1. Pray for New York City. And that is all the time we have for this podcast. You can join me, Dominic Carter, live twice on weekdays, first 3 to 4 p.m., and then the recap show back live midnight to 1 a.m., each show taking your live calls, and also the Sunday night edition live, 11 p.m. until 1 a.m. Red Apple Podcast Talk Radio 77, WABC.
I gotta make it. Dominic Carter socials on Twitter at Dominic TV and Facebook and Instagram. Dominic Carter TV. Email at dominic.carter@wabcradio.com. Until the next episode, be well. And as Dominic always says, stay positive. The glass is always half full, never half empty. Dominic Carter City Hall.
It's easy to get stuck reaching for the same familiar fruits and vegetables, even when you know a colorful variety is key. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggie supplements don't replace fruits and vegetables, but it makes it easy to add more variety to what you already eat. With 31 ingredients that are whole fruits and vegetables, switching it up is easy because we've already taken care of the hard part. Go to balanceofnature.com and get a free fiber and spice supplement, plus 35% off your first set as a new preferred customer by using discount code POD.